What's your Myers-Briggs type?
Uh, INTP.
Okay. I don't know
Is
anything
the
about
thing
that.
is,
You'll have to explain it.
uh, normally I like to question everything, but I'm more focused on understanding nature, how everything happens naturally, how things evolve.
How do you do that?
Charles Darwin
I
was an
read,
INTP.
yeah, I don't know, because that's what I'm passionate about.
And what's your main way of discerning that? What kind of did you say ENTP or INTP?
INTP.
Do you? I'm new to this, by the way. I've only found out about the
Introverted
whole.
thinking is the first function. Extroverted intuition is the second. Uh, Introverted sensing is the third, and then extroverted feeling is the fourth.
And how do you think that plays into how you make your determinations about the world around you?
Well, he can only speak for himself, but and I don't know what type I am necessarily. So
Yeah, I was asking him.
I'm sorry, your voice came a bit wrong. What hearing? Well,
Refresh.
Should I refresh?
No, it's him. I think he's.
yeah, he's really robot-y,
Oh, okay.
and he wasn't answering, so that's why I was like, is he talking to me?
You seem just like my INFJ friend, man. It's funny how like I'm not trying to project, but it's like once you feel like you've like I don't know. I guess it's just NE or S. I don't know what the fuck I have, but it's like I can never just say yeah no. This is it. This is yup. This has got to be it. Like I'm always like it could be. Like I don't know. You're very adamant, which is not good or bad, but.
Well, there's all kinds of proofs that we didn't go to the moon. We've never been back, not
No, that's
being the
after you
biggest
moved.
one, which is why I start there, because nobody can explain that. And when you start to do that, I ask them that because then they have to realize that I've done more research into it than they have, and then they, they're less inclined to then look down upon me for my opinion, which is the easiest thing to do, and write me off straight away because they know that I know what I'm talking about with it.
do you believe in the flat Earth theory?
I don't know. You know what's weird about that though? We don't really have much. There's all kinds of things that ain't right about it, but
Do you believe in the ZOG?
I can only. What's the ZOG?
The Zionist Organization Government.
Zionist government, like a world government kind of thing with Zionists.
Yeah.
Do I believe in it? Like with the flat Earth thing, I only go so far with these things. I noticed that when I got into these things, people jump and people can't stop going, and like you get transvestigations and things, and then people putting up pictures of women, like famous women like Jessica Alba, and saying, "Oh look, from this angle she looked a bit manly, so she didn't look really really hot from that angle, so that means she's a trans person." Have you seen those?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lady Gaga. Is that who you mentioned? Sorry.
Yeah, there's loads of them, isn't there? People think that Trump is a woman.
Really?
Do you have
That's a little silly, but
or not?
I can only go with things that I have evidence for and I can make a good argument for, and that's not one of them. Although they do that kind of thing. For instance, the Rockefeller. If you look for yourselves, David Rockefeller's brother, so-called wife, was a man. And from the pictures it's iffy, but from video you can see that it's somebody portraying a woman, And maybe some people can't see that, but that's, that was one thing that tried to pull over on people. But that's their business. I don't care whether you want to marry a man or not. I'm sure people do, but it's not endemic. It's not everyone.
Yeah, this is.
I
like
want
the
to
whole
do
thing.
it.
Yeah, good for you.
But here's my thing, man. So like everything about society is nothing but what's in the individual just multiplied because it's a single entity going, whatever. I don't want to get all Eric-y.
Solipsism, though.
So like everyone lies. Everyone you lie. The average human being lies like 5 times ever, blah blah blah, when they talk to a new person. So I mean there's gonna be lies. And my thing is, hell yeah, fuck yeah. I'm not oblivious. No shit, people lie all the time, and there's manipulation all the time. There's that FE shit, and like I'm in the military, man. So there's all like we use a lot of words like I don't know, camaraderie and blah blah blah. It's all manipulation of your emotions. But I'm saying like everyone does that. Even the individual does that. So is it always bad? And are we ever gonna get? I don't think we're ever as human beings gonna get to a point where everyone just tells the truth. I actually think there's like objective. I think there's something in our DNA that allows us to lie, and I think it has some practicality.
I mean, I think on an organized level, though, it's a little bit scarier. It definitely
It
holds
is.
more power.
It is
Yeah.
scary, but I think that it's always like it's always gonna be some lie, man. Like that's what has governed people, man. Like whenever you climb a hierarchy system, the guy up top's like, holy shit, it's actually it's like this shit is not stable at all. And if I tell these motherfuckers how unstable this shit is, all the people at the bottom will panic. So I'm just gonna tell them it's all good.
Well, there's been some good lies too. Like
Yeah.
I was reading the history of the Taino Indians, and they came up with a fertility god. This is my theory, at least, and it forbid the fertility god or goddess forbid fornication. And yeah, I don't think they got any message from a god. I think that the higher ups were like, this is becoming a problem.
Yeah.
We have to
yeah.
place some sort of punishment on them, spiritual punishment if they.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really a fine line. Like, you really can't. We're not really up there, so we can't. I mean, I know. Like, I'm like really getting on when people are lying. Maybe not interpersonally, but I can call bullshit. Like whenever like it's an organization thing or like media things. But like I said, it's just.
There's a moment in the footage from the Apollo 17 mission where Schmidt, who's the guy who's fucking monkeying around up there. I mean, that's one of the things that should trigger your bullshit meter, jumping or falling all over the place up there, and he falls over some cables. And one of the guys who's at ground control, the camera's on him for some reason. See, they tell you everything. The camera's on him, and he says, and everyone goes, "Whoa!" as they see him fall over the cables. And the guy says, and I'm sure that he says this, but you can make your own decision. He won't break the cables; they're fake. He'll break the whole world before he breaks the cables. And then a guy next to him goes, and like looks at him like, but you just see the back of his head. So the way they motivate people is it's fear of like what the guy was saying. I don't know which is it, Taylor, that was saying about these lies sort of working to support society in some way.
It's fun. I don't know. I just find it fascinating. I'm not even really arguing anything. I'm just like I just think it's fascinating when like I see an NI Dom, because it's like it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. I'm always like, yeah, like I've never, and I think it's fascinating when someone's like, because NI is so smart and it's so like it's so cool, man. I wish I have none of that shit.
Well, it's like all encompassing kind of as far as its scope.
Yeah, it's like, how can you dispute this, and that? And I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know. And it's just funny. Like, I don't know.
Huh.
It's just how I am, man.
Like an assertive INFJ almost comes off ENTP-ish, to be honest.
Yeah. It's really fascinating.
But both intuition Doms, so I guess that makes a little bit of sense.
Well, I'm interested to know, your guys' different point of view on it. I'm not saying that I'm not open-minded to listening about, especially when you
I
come
don't
out
know
with these
shit
sort of
about the
things.
moon, so
Not necessarily the moon, just your opinions about why people do things like this, or what your attitude is towards it, etc.
Just in general, I just think it's fascinating. How like I can honestly just like enjoy. I don't have to dispute you. I just honestly enjoy your opinion. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't have to believe it. And I don't have to like dispute it either. I'm just like, yeah, that's a cool opinion.
yeah. And if I do even like dispute it in any way or seem like I am, it's really just because I have such a lack of information. I'm just like, oh well, what if this? But I don't actually. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I guess I think that the like some lies are beneficial. Like for instance, the fertility god thing and some things like that. But
I suppose when you think about it, we were just having that conversation about objectivity and subjectivity, and you heard my point of view on it, being that you can't get to the objective truth. So that would mean that everything else would have to be, to some degree, some sort of lie, necessarily.
Can you repeat that? I'm kind of low.
he said if you can never get to the objective truth or whatever, then everything is kind of a lie, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in shit.
That's why I'm so depressed. That's why I don't have any motivation.
That's why I just dumb myself down a lot. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I could think about all this shit, but I mean, I'm never gonna know. So
Like I can sense the end of the world coming, so me like
Why?
working hard for a few years. I don't know. It's just a sense.
I used to think that and feel like that, but now I know that everything that gave me that indication was false, such as nuclear. Oh, we're going to go into another thing here, aren't we? Nuclear weapons.
no, say it.
Aren't you in the army? I shouldn't be saying this in front of you.
I don't care. No, dude,
You're going to report me.
I'm in ENTP, man. I don't give a shit. I like shit like this.
Okay. Where should we start then? Nuclear weapons. Well, let's start at the beginning. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean, you've got the images in your head. You remember what the mushroom cloud looks like. You remember the flyby, don't you? Well, a nuclear bomb, a fission bomb. The idea of that is, it splits the atom and then causes a chain reaction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what you see in your head right now when you visualize the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs is a smoke mushroom, right? But if the bomb was detonated at 19,000 feet, what is the particulate matter? Air? It's not air, is it? That's not smoke. You don't get smoke out of air by splitting the atom. It's not steam either. It's something that's been exploded on the ground, just like, by the way, you can go and see the imitation. The army said themselves that they imitated the effects of a nuclear bomb, although my contention is that they were just imitating what they thought would be a nuclear bomb. And you get the same mushroom cloud, but like I say, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if it was detonated in the air and the particulate matter was from the ground, then you wouldn't have the mushroom.
Why is that?
Because the mushroom is an effect of the immediate explosion,
Could it be?
not the bottom of the explosion reaching the ground and vaporizing everything into smoke and it lifting up.
Oh, okay, that's what I was saying. I was like, doesn't have to go. It has to go somewhere though. So
Yeah, well, I mean, they simulate what would be what they think would be a nuclear bomb. But if you look at, go ahead.
are you saying? I've watched plenty of. Have you seen any documentaries about survivors and stuff of those people, of like Nagasaki and?
Yeah, and basically, there's simulated. It's simulated.